Hey, so long time no see or
What's
whatever.
going on?
I thought Taylor is doing some new
Stuff for Red?
old stuff. Yeah.
New old stuff.
So she's treating us, so we thought that we
She
would.
is blessing us with content.
Yeah, so we thought we would treat ourselves, rank our favorite Taylor Swift albums. He's prepared, and I have not really thought further than my top 3. But we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out.
We could have went back and forth
Okay.
if you would have been ready, prepared.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, we are album themed right now. So I've got the pigtails and the fake. She has real bangs. I have fake bangs right now.
You know, I got on a little, obviously a little striped, a little bit of red, kiss on the lip there, little shadow, little eyeshadow, little, I guess, red inspired a little bit. So.
Red era and folklore. I want to know your.
Well, I put my first one as red.
Oh, why?
Because red, for us, we went through a whole period where we had broken up, and one of the last kind of gifts I gave Samantha, I gave her the album Red, and I gave her a Taylor Swift book, and that album just meant a lot. It had, obviously, All Too Well, I Almost Do, songs like that on there. And those songs they really meant a lot. I think Samantha was listening to either All Too Well or Almost Do when she decided, like, hey, I want to, revisit and come back to that. So that album just means a whole lot to me, and it's definitely my favorite.
That's my favorite too. And of course, same reason. I think she just helped. I already knew it, that song like pushed me over the edge and was like, reach out.
Yeah. What's your second favorite?
My second is Folklore.
Why would you say Folklore?
It was like cozy, and during the pandemic it was something to listen to and be occupied with rather than just thinking about everything going on sometimes.
Yeah, it was a nice album drop out of nowhere. Like her first time actually doing that without promoting. Really, just like, here you go.
Yeah. Oh, and just the way it sounds and everything. How it was like acoustic, and it just really seemed like she was being more herself with boundaries. A grown-up version of herself.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, that was my number 2, Folklore was too.
Oh, really? Why?
I think so too. Like Cardigan, like that song was just amazing, and like every song on Folklore, like you can just listen to, and it just has its own theme, and it just goes consistently. And I'll never forget, like, we went down to see my sister in Atlanta right after it came out, and we just listened to it the whole way there, and it was nice because it was during the pandemic, so we just got to kind of experience something in a good way, and we enjoyed it. Third, I'll put Lover. Mm-hmm.
Was I right earlier when I guessed?
You guessed the top 3.
Okay.
But Lover, because it was her first time like being like her own thing. Like it was her album that she was like kind of most proud of, and it had songs like Cruel Summer that I just really enjoyed. Like obviously Lover was just that was like one of our like quarantine love songs. So
yeah.
Having that and listening to that during that was really fun.
Yeah, my third is Lover too. It was just her thriving, and I loved the music video. So it was just like her putting like all of the things that she's known for together, and she was really happy and in love, and I just felt like it made me feel like really romantic with you or whatever. I don't know. And dreamy, and like also love like You Need to Calm Down. Like it was a very like awesome thing that she was doing there, and in a way that she hadn't really done. I mean, she has, but in a song. Welcome to New York. But other than that, this was just like great. Fourth is 1989. That was when we first moved away from our hometown, and it was just like a fresh new beginning. And I mean, she was having a fresh new beginning. Welcome to New York. Is it? Hold on, when did this come out? 2014.
Yeah,
I was right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I really liked her lyrics in this one too. I always like the sad songs, and she did really good sad songs on this too. But when does she not do a good sad song?
She always does. Yeah, she knows how to do that.
What about you?
For fourth, I put Fearless for mine. So mine was
really?
up pretty high. Yeah, because I love that album. And then the re-release like made me like remember how much I liked all those songs in there too. And then obviously it had like a lot of songs like you can tell a story when you get to Fearless too. But that story you always told me that I always just said that you had a part in Fearless at some way as a joke because you wrote her on Facebook a really long time ago. So I don't know, like Fearless, it was a good one. Obviously, there's a ton of good songs on that album, and it was kind of early on for her as her second one, and like it was like her coming into her own thing, and obviously it still had a lot of the country stuff, but
yeah,
she was starting to develop her own like sound and thing, and so I liked Fearless. It has a lot of good songs on it.
What about
then after
Fifth
that,
for you?
and these were tied up, but 1989 was the next one. So. And same thing, like Welcome to New York is probably one of my favorites because we always listen to it when we drive into New York, so it's nice. And yeah, there's a lot of great songs on that album too. So like Blank Space was just a bop. Like that was just like, and Shake It Off was on there. Yeah. And Bad Blood, like she had some like real,
as much as I want to
to
hate Shake It Off when it comes up on like. Everywhere you go, you still hear it.
Yeah,
all the time. I can't hate it. No. I can't hate it. Like I still love it and sing along.
It's so catchy. And let me preface this: all of these albums are amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's not like
this is a very difficult decision. Yeah. So fifth is Reputation because like I say I don't like the album. I said in the past that it was not my favorite, and it's not my favorite, but it's like my fifth because there's so many songs I do like on here, but there's songs I don't like. But Delicate, So It Goes, really Getaway Car, King of My Heart, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, Dress, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, Call It What You Want, New Year's Day.
And Speak Now is after that, after 89, 6 is Speak Now for me. And I think Speak Now was, I really feel like she was starting to transition into her own thing, and it was the tour where you got to touch her hand. It was my first time, like, obviously seeing her in concert and how crazy cool that was, and it has Mean, and I like that, like, moving out of, like, my hometown, like, I love that song, and it had a lot of really good songs on that album, too, so, and it had Enchanted.
Oh yeah.
That's just and Long Live.
The song that we never got played at our freaking graduation. Yeah. It would have been the perfect graduation song.
Yeah. Can we talk about how fabulous she was right now?
Oh, thank you. Well, now I feel like Speak Now. I wasn't planned out, but after you said that, you reminded me that Mean was on this album, and oh my gosh, I can apply that to so many things that happened during my life at that time, and that song got me through a lot of mean people.
For sure, yeah.
We don't need to say it all, but there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah.
So 7.
That one could have been higher, honestly, but yeah. For me,
now I'm like maybe it could have been. Now that I'm remembering like how important it was.
Went down to 7. I put Reputation, and there is a lot of songs that I love on Reputation. I just had a weird relationship with Taylor during all of that. I've always like loved Taylor Swift and her music. I think the main issue I had, it was a lot going on, and I looked up to Taylor a whole lot, and she just she didn't speak out, and obviously she had her reasons, and I saw a lot more of that in Miss Americana, and obviously
it made you understand.
It made me understand, like she was going through a lot and was coming out from all different sides, and for her to have she was probably like 50-50, when it comes to fans. She had a lot of country music fans still that followed her that had a certain base that probably would not be okay with some of the things, and she said, I don't care, I'm gonna do it, and it made me double down on my respect. Like, don't get me wrong, I still liked the songs, but it was just an era. I was like, okay, like I was rebelling against Taylor, I guess you could say. So
yeah, I'm
just ready for Taylor to say something about all this that's going on, and about this, person that's running for office that's just being evil, So I was, and she finally, like, she opened up, and I was like, this is what I knew Taylor Swift would do.
Gotta say, number 7 is, we're gonna say Fearless Taylor's version.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just like noticing the art you can't see it, but like it's sparkling. I listened to these love songs, like happy love songs, and thought of you when we first started dating. So
For sure.
it's a very important album.
For 8, I went Evermore, and I love the album. I think it was for that instance. I think it was so hard to follow up Folklore because it was honestly, if Red didn't have like All Too Well, Folklore would be number 1. Like it was, and it was right after that. All the songs were really good. I think it was a great album. Like how that you put out 2 albums like that, and just here you go during all that, and they were both amazing. And it has a lot of like Willow. I really like that song, and it had a lot of songs that I enjoyed. There has to be something lower, like when you're going through and ranking her albums.
Really, we're just down to 2 left. What's your 2 that's left?
So my 2, I went Evermore and then Debut. Obviously, remember I just gave Evermore, so obviously that leaves Debut to be the last, which is not a bad album. I mean, you got Tim McGraw, you got Teardrops, something like one of the most iconic songs. Obviously, one of her first those 2, like her first 2 big ones. Cold as You, Stay Beautiful. Like, yeah, it's...
Mary song. That's a cute little song.
Gosh, yeah, that's a good... Oh, mama.
Okay, but... So, I guess... Champagne Problems,
That's a great song. Yeah.
And Mad Woman.
I like Happiness. Oh, Evermore is a good one, too.
Yeah. I've got to say that her Taylor Swift, self-titled album...
7.
Debut.
And then Evermore.
You mean 8? Yeah.
8, and then Evermore
8.
last.
Yeah, because it's gotta go before Evermore, just because it's the first. Tim McGraw was the first song I ever heard of hers. So, or was it Teardrops? I can't remember, but
Teardrops
one of
the first I heard, but and Picture to Burn. No.
I remember CMT in my living room. I remember I was 15 and I walked through the living room and I paused because they were talking about how young she was, and I was like, somebody my age, 1 year younger, older than me, is
doing that
on TV doing this.
Yeah.
And then I just was entranced by her because we both have curly hair. I think all of us just see ourselves in Taylor.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody.
Literally everybody.
So I was telling him I really want to know what everybody else, if you're watching this, what is your, could you rank yours and why? Because if you feel like saying why, but
I'm interested too. I'd like to see what kind of what everybody's favorite albums are and why, because that's always a fun thing to find out. Why is